Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. We got some things that we currently need to discuss that's going on in the boxing world. We're gonna be talking about Vergil Ortiz and Xander Zayas' fight falling apart. If they even had one, and Lubin seeming to be next for Vergil Ortiz, we definitely gonna speak about that. And then we're gonna speak about Canelo versus Crawford's prelims being revealed for the people to see and exactly what our reactions are on this situation. Shout out to everybody that's in the building thus far. If I could go ahead and hit the like button, that'd be very much appreciated. You see what I'm saying? I already see a bunch of people in the comments thus far. Shout out to Steer Hook. He said, whole Canelo-Bud card is trash. Turkey, the quote-unquote money man, right? We definitely going to talk about that, brother. I appreciate you showing the love. Forever Dedicated says, salute, Mark. How your day, brother, man? It was cool. It was cool, man. I ain't gonna speak too much on what had happened at the beginning, but was able to get my son, had some good sparring today in the gym, all that good stuff. You feel what I mean? So solid day overall. Can't really complain too much. I mean, I can complain, but at the same time, I'm not going to. You feel me? Gotta take the good with the good, the bad with the bad. You know, that's just what happens when you become an adult. You see what I mean? Shout out to the boy Calm Minded. He says, Mazuma TV, salute, bro. 5K on Bud. By stoppage pays out 50K. Do you recommend? I am not a financial advisor, my brother, so I am not going to recommend something and then you might lose that 5K and then you coming at me like, damn, I lost 5K, man. I'm not going to be the one to vent to, and I'm not going to be the reason why or be the convincing factor as to why you make that decision. If you're going to be making that decision, you got to make it on your own, brother. Me personally, I'm not a big gambler. And every time I've ever gambled something, it was for small money. So I can't relate to putting up 5K. That gives me anxiety that I do not want to even go through. Simple Boxing, what's going on? He says, salute Mazuma, how's everything going? Hit the thumbs up for the great boxing talk. Definitely, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Chris Maldonado, what up? Coffee plant in the building, as always. What's going on, man? I'm chilling, bro. I can't complain at all. Can't complain. We definitely gonna get to talking, man. We gonna talk about these prelims. We're gonna talk about these prelims, man, because for somebody who claims to not do charity work or whatever the case is, they doing a whole lot of mid fights, man. I thought this was Riyadh's season, man. I thought Turkey was only out here trying to make the best fights happen. We gonna talk. We gonna definitely speak on it. We definitely gonna speak on it. Shout out to everybody that's in here, man. I'm assuming them notifications ain't get sent out because goddamn, Jesus Christ. We usually have more people in by now, but goddamn, it is Jesus what it Christ. Is. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody that's hitting the likes, man. We on the road to 4K. We about to hit that 3,200 mark in due time. Let's try to get the 4K by the end of the year. It's definitely possible, which shall help, of course. Bro, about to talk his shit today. Damn, Anonymous, you why you making that assumption, brother? Why you making that assumption, my brother? I'm gonna go in today. Oh man. Lamont, hey, what up? Nah, man, we just gonna keep it as fair and objective as possible with a little bit of comedy in between. You see what I mean? It ain't gonna be nothing too vicious. I'm just a type person that I like to point out the hypocrisy. I like to point out the contradictions. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to watch what you say, especially over the internet, because it could always come back to haunt you. You know what I mean? We're going to point out who he is. We're going to take him for who he really is, man. Every time I'm looking on social media, Turki Alalshikh, the boxing god, and he's the guy to save boxing. Man, listen. And I've been saying this, and people keep making it seem like like boxing would have been dead without Turkey. This is the reality of the situation. Turkey, like I said, and I give me props for this. Some fights that he's made probably would have never became a reality without his assistance. We can't sit here and lie, man. Usyk Fury probably would have never happened the 2 times they fought. Bivol Beterbiev, that shit was being held up, so he came through. So I give him props for that. You see what I'm saying? I would be a hater to not do that. However, boxing will thrive with or without Turki Alalshikh. That's just the reality. And I just feel like a lot of people, they got his turban so far up their ass that they can't think straight. You feel what I'm saying? Or whatever that shit is that's on top of his head. No disrespect to my Muslims out there. I gotta get corrected by my Muslim brothers. You feel me? Got a lot of love for my Muslim brothers. Whatever that shit, it's not a turban. Whatever that shit is on his head, they got that shit so stuck up. His motherfucking shades be so far up their ass that they can't think straight. You feel me? But anyways, shout out to the boy Lamont A in the building. He said Turk went light on the Crawford Nello undercard. He tired of losing money after the boxing events. I see. Well, that would be, I mean, if he was to come out and say that, Lamont, that would actually be contradictory to what he's also said in the past, because I've heard him say in interviews that he doesn't really care that he loses money. You know why? Because Turki Alalshikh has the type of budget for boxing where, like, he not really looking to profit off of the sport. I told y'all what his agenda is. His agenda is to make all the big fights, all the big events and sports go down in Riyadh. Why? So they could attract more tourists. They want Riyadh to be like that top tourist area. You see what I'm saying? So they dumping money into the sport because they know that if they can make the biggest fights happen, that'll encourage people to come over to come watch the fights. That's the main objective. He doesn't care to profit off of boxing. That's the other promoters' jobs, like Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren, Bob Arum, Oscar De La Hoya. You know what I'm saying? All those different big-time promoters, their objective is to profit off of events. It's not Turkey's job to really – he doesn't really care to profit off of the events. He doesn't. He pays whatever he needs to pay. You know, if he feels like it's beneficial, if it benefits his country to make the event happen, he'll make the fight happen over there. But because he also has relationships with these other promoters and different fighters and stuff like that, he's also willing to make the fights happen in the U.S. But you could tell that his motive is to bring more people over to Riyadh because of the incentive that comes along with fighting in Riyadh. If you fight in Riyadh, you'll make more money over there than what you will make fighting in the U.S. That's the reality. I've heard that on multiple occasions. The stranger says, how would you rate the undercard of Canelo and Bud? That's actually a great question, brother. So Hassan, shout out to Hassan Wells, always keeping the boxing world informed of what's going on, along with his basketball takes and stuff like that. Let me actually share the screen for the people to see. And this isn't the full undercard from what I'm assuming. I'm going to actually have to pull up Box Rec as well to see if they updated the undercard and stuff like that. But as of right now, on Saturday, September 13th, the prelims will be live and available on YouTube. This is the prelims that's going to be taking place. So it seems like the main event of the prelims is going to be Serhiy Bohachuk versus Brandon Adams 2. So they may have fought each other before, unless that's a era or whatever the case is. They'll be fighting each other. Then we got Ivan Ditchko versus Jermaine Franklin Jr. So I guess most of the time we'll be watching that fight closely because according to his team, Jermaine Franklin is the fight that they're looking for. Then we got Ryoto Sumi versus Javier Martinez. That's going to be a super featherweight bout, 6-rounder. We got Sultan Al-Mohammed versus Martin Caraballo. Then we got Steven Nelson, somebody we were just talking about yesterday, versus Reiko Santana, the Cuban, at a light heavyweight bout. So I'm assuming Steven Nelson is moving up for this fight right here. Then we got Marco Verde in the super middleweight division, 6th round versus somebody that has yet to be determined. You see what I'm saying? So when we looking at these prelims right now, man, what we thinking? Now, I think there is a difference between the prelims and the actual undercard. You know what I mean? Like the main card. Who's actually on the main card? G Tatted Up TV. He says, salute, you run a gym daily? Yes, I do, because my son has been wanting to box for the longest. He's about to be 15 Christmas Eve. That's dope, brother. He stands about 5'7" and weighs about 160 to 170. Yeah, bring him by Pivot Boxing Academy, man. If you're in the North Philadelphia area, PIVOTTBOXINGACADEMY. We located at, just Google it, brother. But it's 2807 North 6th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19133. We got kids classes for his age group from 6:30 to 7:30 Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. feel free to come by the gym or give us a call at 215-398-5766 to get all of the gym membership information that you need, brother. Salute to G Tatted Up TV. If I said that too fast, brother, just feel free to rewind. Tego, what up? You said they really sold on dude from Japan. Yeah, for sure. I already seen a couple of his fights. They got Billy versus Lester Martinez on the main card. That's a solid fight. I like that fight. I think that's a great style matchup. I think that'll be a good fight. Let's actually pull that up real quick. So, and we got to keep our energy consistent, man. Because y'all all running around here talking about how Jaron Ennis versus Uisma Lima is a trash fight and all this shit because y'all don't know who the fuck dude is. Well, I would challenge y'all, for those of y'all who happen to be, some sort of, boxing enthusiast, to go ahead and run down outside of Serhii Bohachuk and Brandon Adams and maybe a Steve Nelson. Y'all go ahead and name y'all go ahead and name these guys. Ivan Dishko. Now I know who Ivan Dishko is because I'm familiar with his trainer. But y'all go ahead and you even said I didn't like the Lima fight. That's not what I said, brother. I said it's not like the best fight that could have been made. However, I'm not mad at the fight being made, and I gave you my examples why. Brother. I said that this is the current IBO world champion at 154 pounds. He lost to Aaron McKenna on 4 days' notice in a different weight class, who's significantly bigger than him when you know who Aaron McKenna is. Then he's actually ranked in the top 10 at 154 pounds in a sanctioning body. Also, this man has been underdogs in multiple fights in people's backyards and has beaten them back-to-back and even taken O's in the process. So this is a dangerous, formidable guy, but because people don't acknowledge or people refuse to acknowledge who he is or don't take the time to do their own research, they equate him to being a bum. When I'm telling you, he may not be the most notable name. This might not be the most entertaining fight that we could have seen when looking over the different options. However, I'm not necessarily mad at the fight because this is Jaron in his first fight at 154 pounds. He's looking to get acclimated into the division. But you let Turki Alalshikh say this is a fucking tune-up fight, and he's not a fucking charity. Meanwhile, he's making these fucking bum-ass fights happen on these prelims. So I will ask the question to Turki Alalshikh. You have a problem with Jaron Ennis versus Uisma Lima. And if that's what you have a problem with, brother, then that's your prerogative. However, you cannot sit here and act like Jaron, you can't sit here and act like Ivan Dishko versus Jermaine Franklin Jr. is more credible on being on your card in comparison to the Jaron Ennis fight. You can't say that Steven Nelson versus Reiko Santana is a bigger fight than Jaron Ennis versus Uisma Lima. You can't say that. You can't say that. You got a motherfucker on your card who doesn't even have an opponent announced yet. What we 25 days away? So these guys could be on your. So you a charity for these motherfuckers. You a charity for these motherfuckers, but Boost asked for a solid fight at 154, a tune-up, whatever the fuck the case is, and you over here, upset about it. What do you expect from prelims? I mean, if it's Turki Alalshikh and you got a motherfucking infinite budget, the prelims should be fired too. Y'all look, man. See, I don't like this shit that y'all be doing. Y'all be putting all these motherfucking fighters on these high pedestals. Y'all be putting these Black American fighters on high pedestals, and they got to fight a dog and a dog and a dog each and every time. But you know what I'm saying? When it comes to these motherfuckers right here, like Turki Alalshikh, who got money to blow, y'all don't be pressing him about making all these big fights. This motherfucker done turned down every big fight, so many big fights that we have requested. This man dead ass told y'all. Canelo Benavidez, he's not interested. He's not really interested in making that fight. Benavidez Bivol, he's not interested. Joseph Parker versus Alexander Usyk, literally the next best fight to make in the heavyweight division right now. He's telling you he's not interested. David Benavidez and Artur better be possibly fighting each other November 22nd. No, he's not interested. No criticism going Turki Alalshikh. Wait for that. When he's fully capable of making it happen, this motherfucker go like this, that shit could get made. He can make it happen. He choose not to. All right, Justin. And with us knowing that, you said none of these fighters on the prelims can tie Boots shoes. I mean, Boots are a level above them. Okay, cool. So what I'm telling you is, based off of what you said, and I agree with you, how are these guys more capable? Why are these guys more credible? Why are they given the privilege to fight on Riyadh season cards, but Boots not? Because he's fighting Ortiz Lima. You got Serhi Boachuk and Brandon Adams rumbling each other in a rematch on your prelims, but Boots not deserving of being on your card because he don't want to hold your hand, and he don't want you to tell him what to do. He don't want you rubbing on his thigh and picking his opponents for him. Fuck out of here, bro. Miss me with the bullshit, man. Son got picks. Facts. Fuck out of here, bro. You said the mindless consumer. He says, when you're that rich, a prize fighter is nothing but a pet. Hey, man. Some pets bite you the fuck back. Go ahead and treat them pets however you want. Then when they bite back, you get mad. Move the wrong way with a pet and see what happens. Bro, Turkey said out his own mouth on that boxing voice interview, whatever the fuck that was, with that weird old head who couldn't keep doing this to his mouth, that he's not a charity. So when you putting yourself to that high of a standard, that should mean that every fight that you putting on these cards gotta be fire. It gotta be fire. If you don't do charities and you're not willing to make all the fight, you looking to make the best fights possible, blah, blah, blah. Every fight, based off of what you saying, need to be fire. You cannot settle for anything near mediocre or average. You Turki Alalshikh, nigga. So when I see shit like this bum-ass prelims that any promoter could have made, to be honest with you, this look like some shit Don King could put together right now. Not prime Don King. This look like some shit Don King will put on right now. The fuck is we talking about? Boots doesn't have to do business with him at all, to be honest. He don't. And Turkey hate motherfuckers who don't kiss his ass. Turkey the type nigga to want you to believe that you need him. All these people kissing my ass. Why don't you, nigga? And when you like, fuck out of here, nigga. That's what I want to do, and I ain't letting no nigga with a bag tell me what I'm supposed to be doing in my career. And he don't like that shit. He want everybody to kiss his ring, follow his league. Yeah, he is. Turkey is that type nigga. He shows it, bro. When Tim Tszyu decided to make his own move without Turkey grew resentment. Nigga held a grudge against him. Like, he a little bitch. And I promised myself I wouldn't curse on this live, but I can't help myself, bro. That's pretty much going against who I am. But, no, honestly, for real, though, it's like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, you over here holding grudges against Tim Tszyu. Then when he go up, when he take that fight, he put it all on the line. He take that chance that you never took in your life. You over here trying to shit on him, talking about he a sparring partner, nigga. And what are you? He's a spoiled little fuck nigga with a bag. And when niggas don't kiss your ass, you feel a way about it. Cooler heads will prevail. I mean, of course. Of course. That's true. I agree with you, brother. And like Turkey's a weird dude because like he'll hold it. I genuinely feel like he don't like Joseph Parker. I think if you fuck up what his plans got. Like it's almost like because he the type nigga like he'll make a fight happen, then tell you who he rooting for, right? And that's cool. You're not a promoter. I mean, you ain't tied to none of them. You just putting the bread up, right? But then when these niggas actually get it out the mud, get the W, they upset, they foil your plans, then you feel a way about it. I genuinely feel like he feel a way about Joseph Parker, and I think he been trying to get rid of Joseph Parker for a minute. That shit just ain't been working because Joseph Parker on a motherfucking tear right now. Look how the way they've been matching him. They've been matching Joseph Parker. They threw him in the dungeon. He came out chilling, unscathed, and he like, man, what the fuck? He said, man, I ain't about to get this nigga a Usyk opportunity because if he beat Usyk, he'd rather get that shit than Moses Atama. About to try to fuck up that young nigga career. Like he off the rip, he getting Wilder because they thought Wilder was still the same. Oh yeah, Wilder gonna knock out Joseph Parker. Anthony Joshua gonna knock out Otto Wilder, and then they're gonna fight each other at the end. Joseph Parker fucked them plans up. Wilder showed not to be the same. Turkey like, fuck, we fucked that opportunity up. We're gonna have to scrap that fight. Then they line him up with Julie Zhang. Oh, let's line him up with Big Bang. He been knocking out everybody. Let's get him up, Big Bang. Bang bang, Julie Zhang put him down twice. Man got up and still won the fight. He like, damn. What the hell? So he supposed to fight Daniel Dubois. He like, yeah, we gonna get him with Daniel Dubois. He been knocking everybody out. Daniel Dubois pull out sick. He like, fuck. I need somebody to get this guy. Bacoli. Motherfucker over here somewhere eating. He on that vegetarian diet out there in the Congo and shit. He like, whatever you say, Turkey, I'll make my way. He came over there with an all Gucci outfit on, got put on his ass, did a little tap dance before he fell, all that shit. He like, damn, this nigga Joseph Parker, he frying on my guys. And you would think because Joseph Parker been on a tear like this that he was gonna give him Usyk. No, he was more willing to give Dubois that opportunity, and Dubois the one that pulled out with the illness. I don't know, bro. Turkey a weirdo, bro. And Anonymous right. He definitely be going on these power trips for sure. He said eating food facts. Talking about he a damn vegetarian. You know, I ain't never seen a man with titties, with the titties that Bacoli got. And you a motherfucking vegetarian or a vegan, whatever he is. One of them V words. But anyways, that's the prelims right there. I'll run it down for y'all again for the motherfuckers who can't read in the back. Serhii Bohachuk versus Brandon Adam 2. Ivan Ditchko versus Jermaine Franklin Jr. Reito Susumi versus Javier Martinez. Sultan Al Mohammed versus Martin Caraballo. Steven Nelson versus Reiko Santana, and Marco Verde versus To Be Determined. That is the prelims for y'all, man. This boy don't do no charity work. Not for Boots. Not for Boots. Boots got to let Turki Alalshikh hold his hand and walk down, one of these luxury hotels in Riyadh before, he give Boots that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? He got me one of them. I don't know. Maybe he got to rub Boots' kneecap. He got to do something. You feel me? But, yo, Boots, keep doing you, brother. You're doing absolutely sensational. Shout out to Jerron Ennis. Who are they, though? I don't know, son. That's a great question. Marco Verde versus Mazuma. Whoo! What weight is that? Super middleweight? I could cut 10 pounds right now. I'll fight him. What that money looking like? How much they trying to give me for that? I'm going to price myself out. Fuck it. Marco Verde versus Marcus Rosa. Let's make it happen. I'm 180 right now. No, as a matter of fact, I'm 189. Shit. That's going to be a little bit of a tough cut. Can I do it in 25 days, though? Probably. You talking about stop it. How much? I'll give him a good round, and I'm like, yo, bro, I'm done. I can't breathe. You feel me? I let him hit me with a good body shot. I take a knee, cash my check, and go the fuck back home. That set me up. All I need is one fight to set up some generational wealth. Go ahead, Turkey. You doing a charity for Marco Verde? I'll volunteer. And look, both our names start with Mark, and both of our last names is a color. Ain't Verde like motherfucking what color is Verde? What's that? Green? Yeah, like his last name green, my last name translates to pink. Nigga, the battle of the marks with colors, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? We can get it popping. Marco Green versus Marcus Pink, nigga. Let's get it. Shit. Y'all niggas ever looked at that pink crayon and seen the different ways to say pink? One of them says rosa. Yes, sir. So we could get it popping. He said Mark going to take a dive. No. No, that's not going to happen. But anyways, that's the prelims right there, man. So, in further news, we're going to talk about this whole situation between Vergil Ortiz and Xander Zayas, man. I think it's safe to say at this point in time that fight between the two has fallen apart. I pretty much called it. I'll let y'all know exactly what it was. I think both of these guys were headstrong in terms of, the setting of the event. Golden Boy, Vergil Ortiz and them. And Vergil Ortiz has admitted on the record that he's not really hands-on with the business. He doesn't really care to discuss money for some sort of reason, and he just lets his managers handle all of that. Bro, that boy is a promoter's dream. I'm going to just say this. Bro, your manager could be fucking you over, your promoters could be fucking you over, and you don't care because you just want to fight. You don't care about the business. Vergil's a different motherfucker, man. You are a promoter's dream. That's exactly why De La Hoya like you, bro. He could pay you whatever. And as long as your manager say, yes, you cool with it, shit. But anyways, yeah, he definitely a walking lick. Vergil definitely got some square in him. I need to see the books. You bugging the fuck out, especially if I'm like one of the last motherfuckers you got left that's holding that keeping them lights on over at Golden Boy. You tripping. But anyways, I think it's safe to say that at this point in time, Vergil Ortiz and Xander Zayas will not be fighting each other next. Like I said, I think the setting was going to be a serious dilemma to get through, and unfortunately, they weren't able to get through that situation. So, Golden Boy and them, they wanted to fight to either happen in California or Vegas. Xander Zayas was promised from the very beginning of his career that the fight, his first title defense, will take place in Puerto Rico. Vergil and them, they wasn't really too fond of, fighting Xander Zayas in Puerto Rico. It is what it is. I had my thoughts on that. I feel like if you're the challenger, then you have to, take those risks in order to become the champion, especially if you really believe in yourself, right? But, I think it's safe to say at this point in time, they're not going to be fighting each other because of the information that I had just got not too long ago. This is from Dan Rayfield, who got me blocked, but I'm still able to see his tweets. He goes on and he says, no surprise, but today's Mortazaliev Lubin purse bid for the mandatory IBF 154 title bout was canceled. Lubin withdrew and will instead fight the WBC interim titleist Vergil Ortiz. You see what I mean? So a lot of people are, making their comments. Somebody in the comments said they're all running from bro. No one wants this. Whatever the case is, somebody Benito wrote, either way, Lubin still gets KO'd. Y'all see the comments. But look, man, I'm sure, just based off of the character that I've seen in Erickson Lubin since the beginning of his career, I think that he ain't necessarily scared of a Bakram Mortazaliev. You know what I mean? Now, Justin Jackson says he feels bad for Bakram. I definitely feel bad for him in a sense because he can't seem to get those big opportunities for some reason, and that reason may have been the Tim Tszyu fight. But regardless, he's been having trouble. He's been calling out guys, and behind the scenes, been trying to make these fights happen. And a lot of people have been hesitating to fight him. That's just the reality of the situation. And it could be just bad business over on their side. Maybe they feel like although he's a champion, the finances ain't right. The money don't really make sense. And because of that, they just they just choose to go a different route. And that's what I think happened with Erickson Lubin, to be honest with you. I personally believe that, Lubin, he saw the Vergil Ortiz fight was a bigger fight. It's a more notable name. There's more money on the table. Yeah, it's not the full status title, but you know what I mean? You got to put your business hat on in this situation. I understand that the IBF is a more legit title than the WBC interim, but you know what I mean? You already know what the slogan is in boxing. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And I guess it just made Erickson's time more worthwhile, I guess, to take the Vergil Ortiz fight because it was more dollars behind the fight. You see what I mean? And I think that if he were to beat, Vergil Ortiz, it'll open him up to some even bigger fights. And maybe he's under the impression that, that Bakram fight will still be there. And considering the fact that motherfuckers don't want to fight Bakram, that may very possibly be true. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. Anonymous says, I just think it's not that much bread on the table. They said that first pit fell apart like 2 times. Yeah, I get it. Lubin is the title eliminator king. It's funny. People going to say that Xander ducked, but even the Vergil team said that he did accept the fight last time, so it's safe to say both fighters want to smoke, but not Oscar. Yeah, I blame Vergil Ortiz's team for this. I'm not going to blame Vergil. I'm not going to blame Xander. I think that they would genuinely fight both of each other, and I think that they genuinely believe that they could beat each other. I think the mentality's there. I think the belief within themselves is there, but I think that Vergil Ortiz's team fumbled an opportunity for Vergil. Vergil Ortiz seems to be hands off with the business, so I'm assuming if Vergil Ortiz came to him and was like, yo, we're going to take the Xander Zayas fight in Puerto Rico, I'm sure Vergil will be like, oh, okay, if that's what we're doing, that's just what we're going to do. And I think he will follow through with the situation. But I think this may be a situation where Golden Boy felt like they was the big dogs coming to the table. And, since they the ones making the offer, they could decide the location. But when you're negotiating with a champion that's not a part of your stable, and the guy that you have in your stable happens to be the challenger/contender, it's going to be hard for you to dictate all of the rules. It's kind of arrogant on Golden Boy's part, to be honest with you. I think they should have rolled the dice. I think they should have took the chance, but regardless, they didn't. So it seems like Erickson Lubin and Vergil Ortiz will begin announced soon, and that's going to be the fight that's going to be next for both guys. Still an entertaining fight, still a good fight, to be honest with you. I'm definitely going to be tuned in for that one. I think that's going down October 18th, I believe. October 18th. So, that's going to be a week after Jerron Anderson's fight. So we'll see both of these guys facing, their opponents. And if they both come out victorious, hopefully that builds up more of a demand for both of these guys to fight. They're both in the same division. Eddie Hearn and them said they already had a conversation with Boots, and they agreed that they'll try to make a fight happen with, Vergil Ortiz early 2026. So that's a great fight as well. And, I think that Vergil Ortiz will defeat Erickson Lubin. I think Erickson Lubin is very talented. He's definitely a tough fighter. He got heart. He got skills. He got the experience at this point. He done faced a lot of solid names in the division. And he's been making his name in the division and earned his stripes throughout the years. You feel what I'm saying? So I think he'll definitely pose some problems for Vergil Ortiz, but I think Vergil Ortiz is, high output. I think his punching power, his hand speed, his explosiveness, and his willingness to punch in between Erickson Lubin's punches. I think that he could have a lot of success against Erickson Lubin, especially in the mid rounds. And I think he may possibly even stop Erickson Lubin in the late rounds. I'm thinking 10. I'm thinking round 10. I don't know why. That's a round that keeps popping up in my head. But I just don't see how Erickson Lubin boxes consistently for 12 rounds to defeat, Vergil Ortiz. You know what I mean? I think that guy loses focus. I think that he has too much heart. And I think once you put the pressure on him and he realizes that his boxing isn't really, effective, I think that's when he's going to, throw the game plan out the window and try to fight you up off him. And I think that's when things are going to go left. You know what I mean? I think that's when things are going to go left. And I can see Vergil Ortiz hurting Erickson, stopping Erickson. You know what I'm saying? Wonder who Xander going to fight. They was already speculating who his opponent was going to be. I forgot who they said though. It was somebody. I guess we would have to check the WBO rankings, but I'm assuming there's gonna be somebody that's on there. Let me see. Hold on, I just had their stuff right here. It might be just a voluntary defense, so I don't even know if dude gonna be in the rankings, but let me see. What the fuck is it at? That's dumb. All right, right here. WBO year 2025. And we're going to do July view rankings. Wait, it's junior middleweight. So did they update the rankings for August? Let me see. Oh shit. They didn't update the rankings yet for August. But what? Whatever. Yeah, that was the one that I heard, Anonymous. I heard saying telling. And if that's the case, man, that's gonna be some easy motherfucking work, bro. Jesus Christ, that's gonna be easy work. He said, damn, Santillan moved up. He may have possibly, or he may just move up for a title shot. He might have, but regardless, I don't think he got much experience at 54 because he just fought Norman not too long ago at 47. So, you know what I mean? He might be just moving up for the opportunity. And if I'm saying Tillin, I'm taking the opportunity too, to be honest with you. Why wouldn't I take it? Yeah, it's another great point. Top Rank likes to do their in-house fights. We don't like to share their bread with nobody. If they can keep it all between themselves, then that's what they're going to do. And that's just the business of boxing. Why cut checks with anybody or split bread down the middle when, you know what I mean, we could have an in-house event, in-house fights. They keep all the bread. He might get cooked. No, ain't shit. I mean, obviously it's boxing. Anything could happen. But I'm almost certain Xander gonna fry Santillan. Santillan try to walk this. If he try to walk to Xander how the way he did with Brian Norman, he getting punched on, bro. Like, that's one of the worst things you could do if you're going up against Xander. You know what I mean? Unless you just got like this devastating punching power, or you know what I mean, you just a sharp puncher, whatever the case is, just walking to Xander, like you just asking to get beat up. You feel me? I seen that man Santillan getting punched on by Norman, and he just continued to stay in the pocket with him and run into all these shots. Bro, you're not getting hit by Xander's eyes that many times and not get packed up. You think Xander is the weakest champ at 54 than Fundora? I mean, that's your opinion, brother. You're not even allowing Xander to cement himself in the division. Motherfucker ain't even got a title defense yet. Y'all do. Man, he's the weakest champ. Like, bro, relax. I don't think he's gonna be at 54 much longer anyway. And I think I even made a video saying that Xander Zayas may be the weakest link at 154, but you know what I mean? Ain't no knock to Xander Zayas for real, because he happens to be a part of one of the deepest divisions in boxing. And, you know, he's inexperienced and he's 22 years old. He hasn't really been through the trenches yet this far in his career. And he may have gotten like one of the easiest routes possible to winning the world title. You got to salute his team for that. His team made it as smooth of a process as possible to become a world champion. You know what I mean? But like I said, I think this conversation will be short-lived because I think after this title defense, he moving up. He gonna talk about how he had trouble making the weight and he gonna get the fuck up out of there. I'm telling you. Yeah, let's not act like, Xander wanted that smoke with Fundora, bro. They ducked that shit. They ducked that shit. Xander pulled up to his rumble and all, like, what's up, nigga? What we doing? Because he was sure that Fundora was gonna fight him. Whole time they avoided him. Gave up a belt and all to go fight Tim Tszyu. Talking about Xander too big. Nigga, y'all in the same weight class making the same weight and you 6'6". So you could be taller than everybody in the fucking sport of boxing, including heavyweights, but the moment a nigga heavier than you, you got a problem with it. Like, niggas want it all. Niggas want everything to go their way. That's diva shit, bro. Everybody got to be around the same weight as you. The fuck? Fucking rehydration clauses. Damn, y'all trying to keep that. Y'all trying to keep that money coming in as much as possible. Y'all don't believe y'all fighter for 1 minute. Y'all don't believe in y'all fighter for 1 minute. Samson Luca is one of the scariest niggas in boxing. That nigga Edwin De Los Santos was like, oh man, fuck this nigga, bro. He trying. This scary ass nigga done fucked up my opportunity. It's Fundora, his team, or both. But like I said, if you condone the shit that your team doing, then you ain't no different from them. If your team do some pussy shit, and made you look bad and you cool with it, then you want some pussy shit too. It's really that simple. That's what the A side does, make rules. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, put a fucking rehydration clause on a 22-year-old who's never fought for a world title. And it's not like Fundora ain't fight big guys before. He done fought big, strong motherfuckers before. Why you choosing to do that with Xander? Did you put a rehydration clause on Tim Tszyu? Did you do that to Erickson Lubin? Did you do that to the motherfuckers? Did you do it to Brian Mendoza after he knocked you out? I don't think so. Tank did it to Ryan. I don't condone that shit that Tank did, but Tank actually a lot smaller than niggas. Sebastian not. Sebastian Fundora not 5'4" and competing at a weight class that he's smaller than everybody in. I'm not justifying a rehydration clause at all. I feel like if y'all both make weight, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But come on, man. If anybody got a reason to do a rehydration clause, it's Tank little ass. Not Fundora tall ass. This motherfucker, every time he do a face-off, he could look past niggas and not even see them. But you mad that somebody gonna come in 10 pounds heavier than you. That's bitch shit to me. You were so headstrong on doing that rehydration clause, you gave up a belt. You was unified champion. You gave that up because you ain't want to fight a nigga who's gonna come in heavier than you. Bro, that's turkey shit, bro. At least to me. Nigga said Fundora is 87 feet tall. I hate him. I don't even hate Fundora. That's definitely some duck shit. I ain't gonna lie. That's some real duck shit, guys.
You gotta come down to the promised land, my nigga. 235 acres. We farming our own chickens, homie. Thousands of chickens, thousands. Running around everywhere, quack, quack, quack. Talk about next level shit, homie.
Sorry, man. Vic Damani, 87. If you take away Fundora's length, Mazuma, what's your honest opinion on his skills without his length? Well, for a good amount of time, I think Sebastian Fundora just started using his height and his reach. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go watch a majority of Fundora's fights, especially on his come up, he was always fighting on the inside, not using his reach, not using his length. You know, he really gave guys opportunities to hit him back instead of just playing behind his 80-inch reach advantage. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. He might be just the same fighter. He might be the same fighter. Go look at Fundora's fights. How many times has he stuck behind a jab and counter guys on the way in and step around fight? No, he ain't never outboxed nobody. He always wanted to get in the trenches with niggas and rumble them. He never used his reach. He never used his height in a lot of his fights. And that was one of my biggest criticisms about Fundora on his way up. But when he fought Tim Tszyu a little bit, you know, he started working on it. You could tell. Still got a lot of flaws defensively. Definitely need to like tighten up on some footwork and defensive responsibility and all that. But I seen him actually, you know, keeping Tszyu at the end of his punches. And when Tszyu got a little bit reckless, he dropped him with a straight shot, put him down. Well, wait, what shot was that dropped Tim Tszyu in the second fight? Was that an uppercut? Or was it a right hand? I don't remember. I done watched like a million fights since then. Let me see. Tell y'all right now, my phone about to die though. Yeah, look, my phone died. Fuck. Jamonte Clark deserved the decision over Fundora. I remember watching that live, and I'm like, damn, yo, boy really lost his John, and then they draw. They did him dirty, but they sent that boy Clark over there to lose, so they made sure that he lost. You feel me? It was a straight right. Tszyu was still cracking him upside his head. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Fundora there to be hit. If Fundora had a little bit of defense, he'd be a problem, but he don't. So as long as he there to be hit, you got a chance because we done seen him get put out before. Cold, too. So, you know what I mean? Fundora definitely beatable. Jamonte winning that fight 7. Bro, I remember watching that live, bro. I remember like, wow, they let Fundora walk with that one. Let me get my charger real quick. It was a left hook. Was it really? Talk of SD. What up, brother? He said, coming over from Claymore Reigns Live. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Hopefully you subscribe at the end of the day. We definitely getting the boxing talk going right now. Go 787 in the building. He says, Mazuma, why you always spell my name with 2 Z's, man? You don't see how the way it's spelled on here. Anyways, he says Mazuma, his promoter doesn't believe he could win against Xander Zayas' skills. I mean, that's possible too, but it seems like it's almost like they know that Xander is outgrowing the weight, which I wouldn't be surprised if they did know that because the boxing world is small and people do talk, especially in the industry. So there's like, all right, we don't really want to fight this kid, but you know how like some of these guys, like the Normans, you know, they act like they're interested in making a fight happen, and they'll pop that shit like they're interested the whole time. They not. I think that they were like, bro, let's throw a monkey wrench in these negotiations and get Xander to back off the block. You feel me? So I think that they was like, man, let's throw this rehydration clause in there because we know he get big and, you know, he going to want that additional weight. That's going to make him uninterested in the fight. But it only fucked them over at the end of the day because they took his title. Talk of SD. What SD stand for, brother? South Dakota. San Diego, let me know, brother. So you're always looking for new channels. That's what's up. He says, facts, it was a left hook. For sure. Just watch the short. But he caught, San Diego. Okay, so I was right. Shout out to California, man. I definitely got to make my way out there. I got to make my way out there. I don't know why I haven't went. But I done been down south, Midwest. Went to LA one time, but it was during the lockdown, so I didn't get to really enjoy it. Ha! Split decision. Or it could also be a split draw. Mm-hmm. A split draw, yep. Anyways, Justin, you from Cali? What part of Cali you from, brother? If you from there, where you from? I'm from Philly. Vic says, Fundora opens up with the jab. Zoo looking for a weigh-in, but Fundora staying long. Pause. Zoo just misses with a right. The champ using the lead hand well at the moment. Zoo goes down from a left hand. Smart boxing. Fundora ain't the smartest motherfucker, but that was smart of him, to take advantage of that opportunity for sure. But that's when I seen Sebastian Fundora using his range and, using what God gave him. That's what I tell my fighters all the time, bro. Use what God gave you because, every fighter has different abilities or they got different attributes about them that make them good fighters or they just can't fight at all. But the guys that I have, they all got different abilities. Like, there's guys who have great punch placement. Use what God gave you. There's guys who got great athleticism, great defense, great reflexes. Use what God gave you. Some of them got a great jab. Use what God gave you. Some people got tremendous power. Use what God gave you. Fundora is clear to see what the fuck God gave him, but he refused to use it early on in his career. It was a lack of discipline. It was a lack of schooling, to be honest with you. But I guess as he's getting older, he's maturing and understanding that taking punishment ain't cool. So maybe he's understanding the idea of hitting and not getting hit, and I guess it paid off in that second fight with Zoo. Even though he did get hit, but he didn't put himself. He didn't. I guess he limited the amount of times he put himself in danger by fighting more discipline. So salute to Fundora for that. Mazuma sound like Vergil Hunter in that corner. Why you say? How you know? Shout out to Vergil Hunter though. That's a great trainer right there. That's the genius behind Andre Ward, the all-time great in his own right. Shout out to Andre Ward, one of my favorite fighters ever. Tego said, I love Fundora inside game, even though he don't use his height hardly at all. Fundora know how to get in them trenches and rumble. That's for sure. It's just for sure the better fighter in the family. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, not to be disrespectful towards female boxing or anything like that because they doing their thing. And females boxing is, like, at its peak right now. And I love what they doing. I love how they making the money they deserve. And, I've been a strong advocate for women getting 3-minute rounds. You know what I mean? 12 rounds. Like, I want to see them get all the opportunities that the men get. And they've proven to be exciting fighters in their own right. But, however, the competition that Fundora's sister's facing is not the competition that Fundora's brother, Fundora, the brother, is facing. I think that's safe to say, man. The people Fundora, Sebastian going up against, and the opponents that Gabriella's going up against, different calibers. No disrespect, though. You know what I mean? That's just how the way it's set up right now. Like in female boxing, you could go 8-0 and fight for a world title. How often do you see that in men's boxing? outside of like Vasil Lomachenko and shit like that, where they already done had 400 fucking fights and don't need to be built up. That's like saying Angel Reese could beat Shaq. Well, we're not saying that Gabriella could beat Sebastian, but yeah. Do you think undisputed title fight should be 15 rounders? Nah, I don't. To be honest with you, I think 12 rounds is just enough. And the reason why I say that is because, there's a lot of punishment that could take course. Boxing is already brutal with the 12 rounds. That's already in place. I think an additional 3 could put more fighters at danger and possibly jeopardize their health even more than what it already is. So I think for the safety of fighters, I don't think they should be getting back into the 15 rounds anymore. You know what I mean? Look at a lot of these fighters that took place, that fought during the 15-round era. A lot of them not doing so well. You know what I mean? Can you imagine all of the sparring that you have to take part in to get ready for a 15-rounder, bro? You already do a lot of rounds sparring, prepping for a 12-rounder in the pro. Imagine the extra preparation you got to go through, the additional hits that you got to take. I feel like there are fighters from this era that would thrive in the 15-round era, but I just don't think that additional punishment is necessary, man. That's just my opinion. I think we can still get a great fight with 12 rounds. I don't think an additional 9 minutes is needed. A lot of things could happen in 9 minutes. A lot of things could happen in 9 seconds. So that's just me, though. But I do want to see female boxing do 12 rounds, 3 minutes. Amanda Serrano did it. She showed you that women could do it. But for some reason, the WBC, you know what I mean? They trying to marginalize women. And if I'm a female boxer, I will feel offended by that. Y'all want equal, y'all want equality, right? The fuck? Go fight for what the fuck men already receive in the sport. Y'all get into a bag now. You know what I mean? Get it right, man. Amanda's an all-time great female fighter, hands down, no debating. She just ain't better than Katie Taylor. Ready to transplant Angelo. He says, salute Mazuma TV. Thank you for joining us on the live show earlier. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you for the positive words, man. Thank you. You said shout out Jake Paul. Yeah, Jake Paul put Amanda in a beautiful position. I mean, we don't really know, obviously, but who knows where Amanda would be right now without Jake Paul? I'm gonna just say that. He was on. Good to see you here. My first time. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you coming through. So what we talking about, y'all? What the fuck is going on? What we talking about, y'all? Let's get into some conversation. We not even an hour in yet. I feel like I've been on here longer. The Cardenas, what up? Yeah, I think that, especially in that first and second fight, bro, if Amanda would have had 3 minutes against Katie, she probably would have stopped her. Yasir Ali says, thoughts on Ward versus Joshua. Listen, I know that's like a trending conversation right now, but this is something that I heard Andre Ward say years ago, about 6-7 years ago, that he wanted to fight Anthony Joshua, and he already had like a whole game plan. Apparently, he was going to take a fight. He was going to take a tune-up fight at 175, then do a fight in the UK at cruiserweight or something like that. Then he was going to make the full transition over to heavyweight to fight Anthony Joshua. Now, I think that would have been a tough fight for Andre Ward because Anthony Joshua, although he lacks in skill and stuff like that, and Ward would clearly had a skill advantage. Weight classes still do matter, man. Like we seen James Toney fight Evander Holyfield. It was an older Evander Holyfield. He wasn't a peak Evander Holyfield, but even then, James Toney had to stand up to some shit from Evander. You know what I'm saying? And Anthony Joshua, he's not at his peak anymore, in my opinion, but he still got something left in the tank. He's still very dangerous. He's explosive. He's powerful. I've seen this man put grown heavyweights to sleep with one shot. You know what I mean? And if Andre Ward ain't on his P's and Q's, throughout the entire course of the fight for the whole 36 minutes, he could get caught up in the highlight reel. You know what I'm saying? So with that being known, and then especially him coming up, and I know he may have been staying in the gym and staying in shape, but you haven't been under those bright lights. These right here, you have not been under these bright lights in 6 years, 6 going on to 7 years, and that's a lot of ring rust. That's a lot of inactivity. And although you may have been in the gym, it's a complete difference between being in the gym and being under them bright lights, man. Andre Ward knows that just way more than I do. You know, he's had 32 fights in his own right. He know that being in the gym and being under them lights is two different scenarios. And, I don't know. Like if this would have been a active Andre Ward, then I would, consider him more. But considering the fact that Andre Ward's in his 40s, well, how old is Andre Ward? Andre Ward like 40 years old right now. He's 41 years old, man. He about to be in a few months, he about to be 42. So, Andre Ward, I don't really like that fight for Andre Ward. I think he should stay retired. But, if the fight were to be made, that would go to show how confident Andre Ward is in his skills and his abilities and how less he thinks of an Anthony Joshua. He don't think much of Anthony Joshua, and that's something. And he was saying that before he fought Andy Ruiz, to be honest with you. Yeah, he definitely know the danger. He know the danger, but I guess he feels like, he's able to neutralize it. Why people keep trying AJ? Because AJ low-key a lick, bro. That's why I've been saying that shit about AJ. No disrespect to Karma if she in the building, because, she love her some AJ. But it's like, come on. They know he an easy lick. Outside of his power, he's robotic, stiff, no threatening ring IQ. He got experience, but you know what I mean? Anthony Joshua also soft from a mental aspect too. We seen how the way AJ act when he get in trouble. We seen this man mentally have like real mental battles, have mental health episodes. They were saying in the before he walked out in the Andy Ruiz fight, he was having an anxiety attack backstage and doing a whole lot of negative body language in the ring as if he was ready to quit against Andy. I don't know. AJ got a lot of turkey in him. Yeah, like Coffee said, he got turkey in him. For sure. Blood Rush Entertainment said, I don't get why older fighters just can't enjoy their retirement. He's going to commit. Oh, wow, I can't say that. Fighting a heavyweight. Any heavyweight would destroy an older Andre Ward. Ward is delusional. I don't know if he's necessarily delusional. I think that if he believes in himself, then he got every right to express that. However, Blood Rush, to address your comment, the reason why it's hard for older fighters to just stay retired is because being a part of those fights is an addiction, man. I don't know if you ever heard of like adrenaline junkies and stuff like that. That high that you get is hard to replace, and that's why these adrenaline junkies, they stay jumping out of airplanes and skydiving and doing that do all these different dangerous things to make themselves feel as close to death as possible. Because I guess being as close to death makes them being so close to death makes them feel alive and all that type stuff. I think there's a similarity. There's a parallel in boxing where being under those bright lights is like an addiction that they just can't seem to shake off. They love, and I think what also they're attracted to is the respect and the notoriety that comes from being a top level boxer. You know what I mean? And I think and the same thing applies to basketball. That's why Michael Jordan couldn't retire as many times. That's why he couldn't stay retired as many times as he, tried to walk away from the sport. That's why Sugar Ray Leonard made all them different types of comebacks. Mike Tyson, that's why he's still, trying to fight people and just had a pro fight against a social media boxer. Like, it's hard for these guys to genuinely walk away because it's hard for them to replace. Because first of all, if you're a fighter, that just will never go away. That's a flame that forever be lit in you, regardless of how old you are. If you got that in you, there's nothing that could be done to reverse that. You know what I mean? I think it's just hard to replace that feeling. And I think that's when they feel the most alive, when they're involved in the sport. And you think they don't know that they washed up? Yeah, they know that they ain't got it no more, but they love the feeling that comes with it. To be honest with you, I've seen it happen, bro. Like I know fighters from Philadelphia who've been washed for years, but they just can't leave it alone because they love the feeling that comes with the game. Yeah, what was that? What was that movie? Paid in Full. He was like, I love the game. I love the hustle. But if I walk away, they still gonna love me, man. Boxing's the same way. What about Ward versus Sean Porter, 2 OGs? Sean Porter way too small for Ward, bro. Way too small for Ward. Unless like Andre Ward completely shot, done. Like, nah, Sean Porter ain't being no Andre Ward. Somebody like Ward would be a nightmare for Sean Porter, though. That'll be an ugly fight, to be honest with you. Andre Ward, he was really good at mauling fighters. Sean Porter was much of the same. I see a lot of headbutts. That's an ugly fight. That's a real ugly fight. Cole versus Jesse Hart. I spoke on that fight yesterday. That's a good fight, man. That's Philly versus New Jersey. Khalil Cole, he had a terrible performance, and then he came back and avenged his loss with Coach Rell, top boxing trainer from Philadelphia, pretty much destroyed dude with a jab. So I like the fact that he was able to overcome that adversity. It showed that he really built for this shit. You know what I mean? Because a quote that I like to go by is, if you ain't built for the losses, you ain't built for the wins neither. And what that means is, it's all good when you winning, but coming off of a loss, a lot of people have trouble looking in the mirror and realizing that, they human. Because when you winning, you feel like you the shit. You can't be faded. You start feeling like you immortal, and then you had that humbling experience, and it may break you. It may just break you. It might fold you and make you question whether you built for the sport or not. I'm sure Khalil Cole had them conversations with himself and came to the conclusion that he ain't going out like that. So he made the adjustments necessary. And he came out victorious in the rematch. And you got to applaud him for that, because there's people that lose the guys and refuse to do rematches with him. So it just goes to show how strong Khalil Cole's character is, his mental fortitude. Jesse Hart, he done been around the block, man. Fought for world titles. He fought Gilberto Ramirez twice, fought Joe Smith. Dangerous fighter. There's a lot of war stories about Jesse Hart in the gym. I seen him spar a few times. I seen him stop niggas. He definitely got that dog in him for sure. I just think that when it came to being under the bright lights, he wasn't really able to show who he truly is. But nonetheless, he's dangerous. So going up against Khalil Cole, that'll be a very dangerous fight for Khalil to take. But if he takes that fight and he beats Jesse Hart, that's gonna be a statement. You know what I mean? Cole said he was sick in the first fight, Galago's fight. And to be honest, it looks like it was true. I mean, he may have very well been telling the truth, because I think I remember him saying that too. Hey man, shit happens, but what's important over all of that is he ran it back and he beat him. Jesse Hart got a lot of steam on that right hand, man. Like I said, he's experienced. He's a Philly fighter, man. And they probably done sparred each other, for all I know. I would love to know whether that's the case or not. Because Philly ain't too far from Jersey. Khalil trains with a Philly trainer. at this point. So who knows? They might actually know each other from being in the gym. Wouldn't be surprised at all. That'll be a great fight, man. Jesse's gonna be significantly bigger than Khalil Cole. I do know that because Jesse is he's fucking big. I don't know if anybody that ever met Jesse Hart in person. How tall is Khalil Cole? Because when I met Khalil Cole as well. Khalil Cole not that big, bro. Me and him about the same height. Jesse Hart, I don't know what they got him listed as, but bro, he gotta be every bit of like 6'3". He like 6'3", 6'4", bro. So that's gonna be a good one. And like I said, Jesse up there in age too. Like he in his late 30s, probably 37, around there. He's older, but he's still game. You feel me? So this will be a good one. This will be a good one, man. I would love that fight if that were to happen. And if that were to happen on Boots and Lima's undercard, would love to see that. And Jesse been involved. He been tied to some big fights lately. Remember, he was supposed. They was talking about him fighting David Benavidez and stuff like that. So, if Khalil Cole were to beat him, that could take his game. That could take his stock to the next level. But it's also very dangerous because, you know what I mean, Jesse might be able to expose some things about Khalil that the world don't know. So that's a good fight. Dangerous, but it's a good fight. Jesse got everything to gain in that situation, to be honest with you. Al DePal, he adds on to the previous conversation we had. He says, lots also miss the validation. They get old and people forget about you. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. They miss the love, man. They miss the love that come with the game. You'd be surprised what a man will do for some love, man. Love is as addicting of a drug than attention, money, all that. Love will make you do some shit that may be out of your character, bro. Make you swallow your pride, all that. You feel me? So Silks Bando said, biggest goofy award for 2025 goes to Keyshawn. We gonna have to. We definitely gonna have that Mazuma TV boxing awards coming soon. Yeah, man. We might just make that a category. There's a few goofies. There's gonna be a few people nominated for Goofy of the Year. It gotta be Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, Keyshawn Davis. I don't know, bro. Silks, T.O. might get that. T.O. might get that, bro. Who? Let's name 4 people. We gonna go for Goofy of the Year. Keyshawn Davis for sure. Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. Who else? Who else is a fucking goofy? Y'all let me know. Let me know, y'all. Who else deserve to be on that goofy list? Berlanga. Yo, that's gonna be a tough one. That's gonna be a tough one, yo. Who's the biggest goofy out of them all? I think T.O. got it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. With that whole racist shit and the ducking, oh man, he might have it. But Berlanga, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yo, hold on. Let me see how I had that shit set up. Let me check my docs again. How I had that award shit set up. Where is my docs at? All right, right here. No, thank you. Why y'all trying to get me to pay for shit? Y'all always trying to get me to pay for something. Fuck no. We ain't paying for that. T.O. got it. He might. How did I have that award set up? I think I got it on ChatGPT. Let me see something real quick. What is going on? My shit tweaking. My fault, yo. Oh, it's right here. Damn, I can't find that joint, yo. He got little broed by Bud. Yeah, I remember that. T got slapped up by Super. He been out here ducking every fight offered to him, and he got clowned by his own promoter. Facts. Yeah, T.O. got it, bro. There's a lot of strong. We need some honorable mentions in that as well. Ryan, him too, for that shitty ass performance against Rolly. Seen a meme. It said, "What's worse, falling in love, being a drug addict, turning to alcohol or cigarettes?" And somebody posted, "Love, it'll make you do all those things." And they got lots of likes. That's a great answer. Mazuma, you still rocking with Boots next fight? I told you he was going to take a tune-up. Let's hope he gets to work after this. Of course, I'm still rocking with Boots. I think a lot of people discrediting Lima because they don't know who he is. You know what I mean? But just because you don't know him don't mean he ain't credible. But shout out to the boy Hassan 7. Let me see. We got a lot of comments rolling in. Floyd Schofield faking sick, but he was able to he got all the people up off his back after that Tevin Farmer performance though. So I can't put Floyd there. His dad could, man. Mm. Yo, Berlanga's a close second. I ain't even gonna lie to you, Vic. He said Berlanga for sure coming up with that rap shit. Then his wife, as a spokeswoman, spearheading that narrative. Yo, Berlanga got it, bro. Nah, Tio, I gotta give it to Tio right now. You know what I mean? But if Berlanga do a couple more things, it might swing in his direction. I ain't gonna lie. Tio talk shit, but he could back it up. All right, against who though? Not against the people he been avoiding. Even though he did avoid Barbosa for an amount of time. But he backing it up. But who he backing it up against? Why the fuck you posted your highlights? Yeah, that was a bad job. Yo, Berlanga posting a highlight reel after we seen what happened to him is crazy. Like, nigga, what about the end result? Bro, what's wrong with Berlanga? It's like he lose. And then he act like he don't lose. We gonna have that discussion at the end of the year, yo. We gonna save that. Turkey honorable mention. He do some good for boxing, so I'm gonna let him slide. He kind of pissed me off though. I hold him accountable for the nut shit he be doing. But yeah, bro. Berlanga a close second, bro. That highlight reel is insane. Munguia, oh yeah. No, we got no, Anonymous, you forgot. We got drug cheat of the year. We got the drug cheat of the year category. Now I do remember that. I'm trying to find it on my docs though, man. I can't find it. Let me see. I think it's on my Mazuma TV one. Derek, no, that's my pound for pound list. Hold on. I had this shit written somewhere, man. Fuck. nigga, where did I have that at? I gotta look back, bro. Or did I write it in my notes? You about to find this before I get up off of here, bro. Okay. I got it. So we had promoter of the year, division of the year, trainer of the year, card of the year, drug cheat of the year, prospect of the year, comeback fighter of the year, performance of the year. Keyshawn actually got that performance of the year. Boogeyman of the year, robbery of the year, upset of the year, duck of the year. Brian Norman Jr. won that, John. Ass whooping of the year, fighter of the year, fight of the year, knockout of the year. Yo, that is hilarious. Ass whooping of the year is hilarious. Sebastian Fundora might win that duck of the year. Fighter of the year thus far. Shit, we're gonna have to wait until that Bud Canelo one. Fight of the year. Ass whooping of the year might be Berlanga. That's a fact. Yo, I don't think there will be an ass. Now, Jin Sasaki might have a case for that. He might have a case for that. But at least Jin Sasaki wasn't running his mouth. At least from what we know. Fight of the year has a couple options. Facts. Chris Eubank and Conor Benn might be on that list. I ain't gonna lie. Prospect of the year. So I'm probably gonna go with prospect of the year. That might be somebody that a lot of people don't know, but I've been keeping my eye on him. Nah, Abdullah, he about to fight for a world title. He ain't a prospect no more. Yeah, he a legit contender, bro. He might be a world champion in November. He not getting that. There's this Haitian dude. His name is Darrell Valsaint. I've been keeping my eye on him. A lot of people don't know who he is, but oh shit, we actually got Turki Alalshikh in the building. We got Nick J. What's going on? I don't want no smoke, Nick. Don't come over here cursing me out. I'm sorry. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. It's like, no, I'm fucking with you. What's going on? Turki Alalshikh in the building. That looked like an actual plate of turkey. I don't know what that is. But anyways, he said Noak's about to beat the brakes off Abdullah. I think you got Abdullah fucked up. That's just me though. He said, damn, Turkey saying Abdullah losing. Yeah, ain't Abdullah like a Ring magazine ambassador? Yeah, he tripping. Dude who sparked Canelo, yeah. I think he's very slept on. I don't know why he not getting the credit he deserved. Because I had first heard about him from I was talking with my homie Josh. He told me about him a while back. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna check him out. I'm like, yo, this kid could fucking fight. So now I watched a few other ones he had. I watched a few other fights. I'm like, yo, this kid may be the truth. But nigga said I set Abdullah up. Yeah. Oh. Bro, I watched a video of like Nicholas Flies, bro. Yo, you know, like bro, his hunger, like my dad was telling me, bro, his hunger on a different level. He's still living in like a wooden house in Puerto Rico. I'm like, bro, this nigga, bro, he gonna be a problem for sure. No, I know who Chop Chop is, Vic. Chop Chop, all right. He's solid. Well, we got plenty of time, man. We got plenty of time because we're gonna do that award show at like the first week of January. Yeah, I mean, because we did that shit. I had made that list at like January 2nd. You know what I mean? So and by the way, the guys who won the awards last year, promoter of the year was Eddie Hearn. Division of the year was heavyweight. Trainer of the year, Robert Garcia. Card of the year, Terrence Crawford versus Mazuma. That card. Drug cheat of the year, Ryan Garcia. Prospect of the year, Abdullah Mason. Comeback fighter of the year, Daniel Dubois. Performance of the year, Keyshawn Davis versus Gustavo Lemos. Boogeyman of the year, Jerron Ennis. Robbery of the year, Vergil Ortiz, Bohachuk. Damn. Oh, shit. Upset of the year, Munguia versus Bruno Sarase. Duck of the year, Brian Norman Jr. Ass whooping of the year, Bacoli versus Jared Anderson. Fighter of the year, Alexander Usyk. Fight of the year, Usyk Fury 1. Knockout of the year, Dubois versus AJ. Hey, man. And once our channel really get up there, bro, especially if we get a sponsor, I might just literally make trophies and send this shit out to these niggas, bro. Like, Mazuma TV, a big fucking deal, bro. You feel me? This about to be a big deal, nigga. Parade of the year last year. Parade of the year. This dude crazy, bro. Silks dead ass said parade of the year. Oh man. Robbery of the year was accurate. Shit, I kind of forgot. I kind of forgot about Bohachuk and Vergil a little bit. I got a young boy I train. He's 16. I think he be letting his girl just type whatever on his fucking page. Like, bro, stop letting your girl run your social media. Bro, this nigga's a troll. Hold my hand of the year? Y'all niggas tripping. Hold my hand of the year. Bro, how is that an award? Yo. This goes out to whoever held Turkey's hand the longest. Yo. Dana definitely got that title. He be letting whatever you want, Turkey, as long as you pay me. Freakazoid of the year, Schofield Pops. Damn. I'll tell you what, though. You know what's going. I'm gonna tell y'all what's gonna look bad, bro. But all that shit, bro, because everywhere I look, Brian Norman talking shit on somebody's platform, right? He always talking shit. He always talking about Boots. Bro, you would think that his son fighting Boots. Crazy, right? So, he fighting Devin Haney. And Devin Haney been quiet, training, keeping to himself, preparing a game plan. And I see Norman and them training too, but you know, part of being locked in camp is your trainer being locked in. It just seemed like Senior real distracted. real distracted. And it's like, bro, if your son get fried by Devin Haney, he doing all this flexing. We already making more money than what they was offering us. Man, we won. Oh, bro, if you get your ass whooped by Devin Haney, if your son get fried by Devin Haney, y'all lose that belt, and Devin Haney become a 3-division world champion in his first fight in your division where you so-called the best, man, all that shit talk you just said is really going to nullify a lot of the shit that you was talking. That shit that you was talking about, all that shit you was talking about, gonna be dead out the window, bro. Ride my money of the year. This nigga's funny. But why? Like, what is that picture though? That's like, is that really like that really is like a plate of turkey, right? That's like sliced up into like slices. What is that? It's literally like a plate of turkey. That's crazy. That's hilarious. I can't really. The picture's small, so I gotta really look. That's funny. Turkey and stuffing. Stuffing is crazy. Right, Ryan Garcia versus Rolly or Haney versus Ramirez. You ain't gonna give Skull Rob? Nah, William Skull robbed you the most. Turkey. William Skull robbed you worse than all them guys. Because at least Dev won. Turkey said Crawford loves to hold my hand. That's crazy. Why you playing with Crawford like that, Turkey? Outer Pal said they should have done Davis' fight on Thanksgiving. It's the same week. Plus, the time wouldn't matter because everyone off. And you got some new casuals because they kicking it with family. You right. Some fighters might have a problem with it because they like to spend the holidays with their family and shit. I don't know. I can't wait for Thanksgiving though. Hopefully my grandma down here, bro. I ain't have her cooking in months because she been living in Puerto Rico, man. Silks Bando said, Mark, did you ever realize the Tank versus Hector Garcia fight was $75 pay-per-view? Boxing fans stay getting robbed. I completely forgot about that, brother, but I definitely didn't buy that. So that's probably why I wouldn't remember. I didn't buy it. I'm not gonna pay $75 to see Tank fight Hector Luis Garcia. That's not happening. Wasn't an appealing fight at all. If Tank want me to buy a fight from him, it got to be fights that I want, not what he want. Ralph said they gotta make sure Kamel don't fight Thanksgiving so he don't miss weight again. Damn, Ralph. Shit. That's crazy. That boy Carmel just took it straight. Outer Pal said, but Cowboys and Detroit still play that day. Shit, money talk. That's a fact. But them football players, they not cutting weight. Them motherfuckers eating more than anybody else. Anyways, man, I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love, man. Shout out to the new subscribers in the building. I hope you guys stay around because we consistently give you this boxing talk. We constantly give you this content on a daily, man. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love. Y'all go ahead, hit the like button. Shout out to the 43 people that's in the building. I'll be back at y'all at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to continue pushing the boxing culture forward. Speaking about what's currently going on in the boxing world, man. Until then, this is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, signing off. Peace.